conclusion.
Say what?
I agree. If the defense has no counter-argument, we have nothing left to discuss.
Then do your job and hand down the guilty verdict.
Nick, what do we do?
Hold it! I haven't even been given the chance to cross-examine the witness yet.
There is no need. This photograph says it all.
Perhaps.
Speaking of those terms, it's time for the verdict.
Objection!
Wait, what are you doing?
Lot of heart, I gotta say your testimony stinks.
Huh? How come?
That picture is way too foggy to tell who it really is in the boat, and you refuse to say what you actually saw with your own eyes. Tell us the truth! Don't you realize people's lives are at stake?
Why do you gotta make me out to be the bad guy? Look, I saw him. Miles Edgeworth was in that boat, clear as day.
Now, Judge, you must declare the defense in contempt of court. Will you declare the defendant guilty so we can end this disgrace?
Objection! The witness just claimed that she clearly saw Edgeworth that night. That means her testimony is changed. Therefore, I have a right to conduct a full and thorough cross-examination.
Objection! Your cross-examination is over, defense.
The court sustains the defense's objection.
Sustained?
So,
Take a look at this photo. The lake's covered in a dense fog. How could you have seen his face?
Well,
Objection! A camera's lens is quite different from the human eye.
What do you mean?
the fog was thick as a bowl of grits that night. But I grabbed these bad boys here.
Cease this blathering at once.
What? Shut up!
The cross-examination of this witness is over. Do I make myself clear?
Objection! This isn't over just yet. Lot of heart.
Yeah? What now?
You say that you enlarged this photograph?
Yup. Sure did.
No such version exists.
Hey! I handed that thing over to you free of charge!
Silence!
Your Honor, I'm asking you, please allow the enlargement to be submitted.
Can we put an end to this ridiculous trial?
Objection! Look very closely at this, and you'll see a glaring contradiction.
And what's that?
If you recall the testimony given by the detective earlier,
There were some fingerprints found on the gun, were there not?
Yes, from Mr. Miles Edgeworth. The prints match his right hand perfectly.
upon close examination of this photograph, you can see that the assailant is holding the gun in his left hand. Therefore, the man shown firing in this picture is not Edgeworth. That's true. Wouldn't that imply Von Karma manipulated your testimony?
Objection! That is a completely baseless accusation.
Objection is sustained.
I'll change the question.
Order! Order in this court! The testimony we just heard offers decisive proof, in my opinion, that the defender did
But
indeed...
Your Honor, the defense has already proven our client did not fire the weapon. The photograph shows the murderer pulling the trigger with his left hand, but the prints found on the gun are from Edgeworth's right hand.
Objection! The prints prove that he was in possession of the gun. He wore a glove and fired with his left, then carried it in his right hand once the murder was done. I'm sure that's what happened.
And so this ends the murder trial of Mr. Miles...
Objection! Larry. Huh? Repeat what you heard on the radio when the gunshot went off.
That sweet verbal gold of Auralia?
Yeah, what the DJ said.
Oh, sure. Well, it's almost Christmas, and I hope all you oral lovers and bad
Hold
boys...
it! Did you hear that? What the witness just said?
What was I listening for?
Right when he heard the gunshot, the DJ said something important. She said that it was almost Christmas. In other words, it wasn't Christmas yet, so it had to be before midnight. But still, according to the other witnesses, both gunshots were definitely fired after midnight. This photograph is proof of that.
When Mrs. Hart's camera reacted to the sound and took the picture, it was 12:10 a.m., so after midnight on Christmas.
There's an unmistakable time difference.
Objection! The witness is just confused.
No, I'm not! He is telling the truth, Your Honor. I learned how painful it felt to be alone with no one at your side, branded as a criminal. I thought the only way I could make it stop was to confess to it. But then...
Objection!
Don't say anything!
How come?
Because it wasn't you. You didn't steal the money, did you?
No!
Then you have no reason to feel ashamed. Just because everyone is saying you did it, that still doesn't make it true.
But he did do it!
He stole your money, Miles.
Yeah, we all know that Phoenix is a thief!
If you don't have evidence, you don't have anything. Before you try him in your little kangaroo court, you should at least know that much!
You tell him, Edgy! All you jerks love ganging up on people and making them feel like total crap!
So if you did in fact kill Robert Hammond on Christmas Eve, by your own admission, you should be able to remember committing the murder!
Objection! That is a baseless accusation!
I'd never dream of killing anybody.
So then it could be from anybody to anybody. That's a poor example of proof. The defense's claims are still in the realm of unfounded speculation. There's nothing concrete linking the witness to the defendant. There's no connection whatsoever.
Objection! Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth did share a connection. One that goes back years. The DL6 incident, wherein the defendant's father was murdered. In the ensuing trial, Hammond defended the suspected killer in court. He won that case.
Okay, but would you care to illuminate what the connection is between that case and this witness?
Even though that case is now 15 years old, it is at the very root of this murder. Isn't that right, old man?
Can we just let Miss Polly fly away now?
Hold it! Polly has already provided us with a crucial piece of information.
And what's that?
I found this in Yanni Yogi's case file. Pay close attention to his fiancée's name.
Polly Jenkins. Polly? Well, I'll be.
You named your new partner after your late fiancé, didn't you?
That's a mere coincidence.
Is the combination to the safe a coincidence? 12/28 is December 28th, the exact date of the DL6 incident.
Just another coincidence. No, Your Honor! Remove this stupid bird immediately!
Objection! Now! Your Honor, these are not random coincidences. They're pieces to the puzzle we're trying to solve. Put them together with this letter and a picture begins to form. Witness, your name is actually Yanni Yogi, is it not?
Objection! You don't have to answer that question. It's simply more of the same baseless conjecture the defense...
That's enough. I've done what I wanted to do. It's over.
You fool! What are you doing?
It's just as this young man says it is. My real name is indeed Yanni Yogi.
I'm so glad that's over.
If that is all, this court is adjourned.
Objection!
Your Honor, please allow me to confess my guilt. The person that killed my father 15 years ago, it was I.
No way. That means somebody else was at the scene. The actual murderer!
There was another person in the yellow...
Objection! Your utter lack of experience has caused you to overlook a crucial fact.
What'd you say?
Look at the case file. Pay attention to how many bullets were found at the scene. The bullet that took Gregory Edgeworth's life was found near his body. There were no others discovered after the murder.
I shall hereby hand down the verdict for Mr. Miles...
Objection! The second shot from the pistol was indeed fired on that day.
Enough!
That bullet vanished from the scene, and there's only one possible reason why.
And what would that be?
Because the real killer took it with them.
Tell me, why would someone do something so irrational as that?
Well, because... I don't know. I can't explain it for the life of me. The bullet hit him and lodged in his flesh.
You're saying the killer was struck as well?
Yes, and if the bullet was stuck in him, he had no choice. He had to take it from the crime scene. And that explains why it wasn't discovered on the day of the murder.
Objection! Can you provide us with any record that somebody else was shot in the courthouse on that day?
There must have been another person who left the building with a serious injury. But...
So if you have no suspect or evidence to back up this dubious claim, the trial is over.
I believe you're right.
Objection! But there is a suspect. It could only have been one person.
Pay him no mind. Hand down your...
I know who it was. 15 years ago, the man who killed Gregory Edgeworth also took a bullet. He fled the scene without disclosing his injury. That man was you! Where did it come from?
Several years ago, I accidentally shot myself while I was examining a pistol involved in a murder case.
Objection! That's a lie. You sustained that injury when you murdered Gregory Edgeworth.
Can you verify that claim?
Yes, of course.
I understand correctly that the defense has no further evidence to present.
Well,
Then I shall hereby hand down the verdict in this case.
Objection!
Maya!
Your Honor, the defense has new evidence to present.
New evidence? But how?
This is the bullet that killed Gregory Edgeworth 15 years ago. It was in your office. You tried to hide it!
You thieving little vixen!
Objection! I'm sorry, Edgeworth.
You don't have to apologize. You didn't truly steal the money, did you?
No.
Therefore, don't feel ashamed. They may say you did it, but that doesn't turn a false accusation into the truth.
What? We all know he did it.
Yeah, and it was your money he stole anyway.
He's just a dirty thief.
If you don't have evidence, you don't have anything. Before you try him in your little kangaroo court, you should at least know that.